Evening guys, about 6 p.m. UTC time, still 420, that's April 20th for you English, you Brits out here watching. And yeah, I was actually looking on my YouTube analytics, and pretty much mainly Americans, as to be expected. But there's plenty of Brits watching too. Yeah, it's interesting that they show you all that data. They give you like how many people watching, unique users, how many people, what source are they coming from? Are they like Google searches? Are they YouTube searches? What they're searching for? How long they're watching the videos? Yeah, really very detailed breakdown, more than I was expecting. So yeah, pretty much everyone watching is male between the ages like 25 and 44. I can't remember the exact breakdown of male and female, but yeah, pretty much, you know, male audience. Americans and Brits, I think a few Russians. That gets me worried. Yeah. It's probably by VPN though, isn't it? Yeah. I don't think Russian people are that interested about what I've got to say about stuff. But you never know. There's I guess there's translation available, right? CC subtitles. Maybe Russians are tuning in just to learn about life in the UK. Okay? There's plenty of Russians in London, right? At least there were. I don't know if they've been pushed out because of the anti-Russian propaganda. Yeah, what else was I going to say? Yeah, what did I post today on TradingView? I did 2 videos on oil. Yeah, looks like oil's going up higher, just as the economy is opening up, which is going to hurt people's pocketbook. So why not, as I mentioned in the video, why not do a little hold on the sales tag of gas or petroleum, or as in petrol we call it in England. You know, people are getting back on their feet. You want the economy started, don't you? Want to give them a little boost? Why not give them a little discount on their fuel? But no, it's going up. And what really was highlighting for people was the value of holding assets and never selling, especially when an asset has dividends. I think I showed 2 companies. Part 1 was about looking at Valero. It's basically an oil refiner. I think mainly West Coast, North Texas, VLO. And so it started in mid-70s something, and you could have picked up a share for less than $1, like 70 cents, right? And I think the dividend payouts now every quarter is $1, literally. So every year you're getting paid $4 to hold a stock you bought for 71 cents. That's just 1 year, you know. Amazing stuff. So you obviously had to go back in time and think, we're going from a domestic oil producer, right? Basically that's what America was. You had enough oil from Texas, California, Oklahoma, wherever, and the power shifted, the dollar shifted, the petrodollar was created. So they had to shift production from the States to Saudi Arabia, OPEC countries, right? If they want to keep this dollar mechanism alive, because they de-linked it from gold, right? So now they had to create a new commodity-backed fiat currency. So they created the petrodollar, they created OPEC, Henry Kissinger, that was the fellow I was trying to think of. Yeah, he was brokering all the deals, right? Him, Dick Cheney, I think, was around, maybe. He was a real weird guy, Dick Cheney. Nothing, no big brain going up there. He was just aggressive, right? Real aggressive dude. So he worked his way up all the way to VP. But he was around back then, I think, even in the 70s. But I don't know what kind of player he was. He must have been late 20s, 30s. So he must have some sort of connection, family connections. Or not, I don't know. After I watched the movie, that I think it's just called Dick, right? Yeah, don't search that in your Triple X section. But yeah, I think it's just called Dick or VP or something like that. I don't know. But I think it's a Christian Bale movie. Like I said, I haven't seen movies in years now. Last movie I saw, shit, I can't remember. It's been ages. It's been really, really long. Definitely not a comic book film. Hate those ones. Yeah. So talking about oil and like Valero, right? So you could have picked it up for 71 cents, and 50 years later, it's paying you $5 or $4. And throughout that time, I think the dividends started around 5-10 cents. The dividends kept on growing. 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents, you know. And those dividends were based on earnings. Those earnings were based on the company growing, and they all fed into the stock price, right? So something you bought for 71 cents, I think it turned into $100. Pretty good. Pretty good. A small investment back then. You're basically living off your stock now. As long as you never sold. As long as you never sold. So literally, imagine someone starting out a career who worked at the company. You know, employee match, little secretary, just, you know, putting away 50 quid a paycheck, $50, $100, whatever. Maybe she's buying at a discount, 25%, right? Just being prudent. Should be a millionaire, proper millionaire. Dividends will probably be 200,000-300,000 a year, right? Imagine she reinvested those dividends. DRIP, I think it's called, dividend reinvestment, investment, something, procedure, something, DRIP. Just put out whatever she needed, because she's still working, right? Still working, dutifully, wait for the boss. But maybe she had a few kids, and when it comes to retirement, she could just, you know, talk to her accountant and just transfer them over, right? Or, you know, will, whatever, when she passes. You know, that's Valero, still a good company, right? Still makes money, still makes earnings, still makes dividends. So, yeah. And this kind of comes back to Hex, right? T-shirts. They make, what do they make? Hex every day. And so because of the daily payouts, whales only can come in and reduce return streams within a year and a half, right? Year and a half of history, he's got so much data to play with. You know, he doesn't have to wait 10, 20, 30 years, because quarterly payments, what? How long does it take for a quarterly payment to match 500 days, as we've got in Hex? Let's do the math. For 125 years? So we're still not there yet. What, we're 50 years in, so another 70 to go for Valero to match Hex's daily data, daily airdrops, whatever you want to call it, daily returns, daily income. So yeah, so imagine when Hex hits like 2-3 years old, 1,000 days of history. It's going to be good, because I'm sure at some point some people will look, somebody in the banking industry, once they got to go ahead to invest in, well, they have got to go ahead, haven't they? Fidelity's got digital assets, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, crypto trading desk, right? Ethereum on the CME. They'll start paying attention to what else is out there. They could just look at the coin ranking sites. There's 2 of them that show Hex in the top, I think 18, and one's Coin Paprika is lower because of the coin supply it uses. I think it's 28. Yeah, we'll start digging around, right? What's the number 1 DeFi by total value locked? Number 2 is Hex. Number 2 is Hex. So yeah, a proper analyst will be eyeing Hex. We'll be eyeing our work, right? Stuff that whales produce is golden. I just kind of rely on it sometimes, you know. I think a couple of my Medium posts have, used some of his charts, and I gave him due credit. So I always try and give due credit when credit is due. But who else in the Hex is really putting out that quality data? So Wales is our guy, right? Wales is our bridge to the old legacy system. So he's very important, Mr. Wales only. Always give him a follow, always give him a like. I think incomewatch.com, income.watch on Twitter, right? Yeah, maybe not to your liking in terms of, he's pretty woke, like myself. We call it like we see it. We call it how we see it based on our years of knowledge and experience. So that's where we kind of push the lines, the acceptable lines, I guess. But we will not be silenced, because I think we're getting to the point now where we don't want the guys, the big spoons who've been like used by the power players, the guys behind the scenes. We're fed up of listening to them. Fed up of listening to their lies, right? So people with real voices, real opinions, not just opinions, can back up what they're saying with numbers. They're gonna win, right? Because numbers don't lie. There's lies that are told about the numbers. That's what happens. Right, I'm across the road. Look at this. Just jumped a broom. Not bad for old man. Yeah. So yeah, numbers don't lie. It's just the people telling stories about the numbers. Like, did you know in the UK 2020 was one of the lowest death rates on record in the last 70 years? The lowest. I think 2019 was lowest. So they picked an opportune moment when people were teetering on the edge, 78-year-olds, to release a somewhat novel lab-engineered YY, and then they amp the fear up, and your mind controls your body. If your mind is in fear zone, your body will be in fear zone. My mind is made of diamonds, unbreakable, immutable. So that's why I've got diamond hands, got a diamond brain, and the knowledge that I know will not be shook, no matter how hard they try with their propaganda. So yeah, I'm going on a bit of a rant now, aren't I? But yeah, today was good. Made 2 videos on oil. So I brought up Valero in the first part. Second part, I found DuPont, which was actually, I was trying to find Dow Chemical, because it's a petrochemical. I'm basically kind of just doing some research on like recovery stories, and as we get going again. And it's going to be stop-start, I believe. Or was it 2021, summertime almost now? Could be end of next year, end of next summer, before like things are fully up and away, I believe. Because this summer's disrupted already. Our open period time is July, June 15th or something. With restrictions, I'm sure, with possible summer variants coming to get ya, right? Hilarious stuff. Oh boy, hilarious stuff. So yeah, the people in charge of the UK, or being anointed, really doing a bad deal, right? Well, are they really? What's the end goal? The government wants to grow, wants to get more power. And it's interesting, Britain was a parliamentary system. So you have one Prime Minister and his cabinet of appointed, again, ministers, not president. We don't have a presidential system, we have a ministerial system, right? So they're supposed to be basically local representatives who kind of risen up, gain prominence, etc. It takes decades and decades of like good quality work. Did Boris Johnson put in decades and decades of good quality work? You decide. So yeah, when stuff like that happens, when people get elevated too quickly, you've got to ask who's doing the elevating, right? Especially in the whole period when he went down last summer. He was getting some mind control washing from someone, probably. Apparently he was on his deathbed. Rubbish, absolute rubbish. They wanted to get him away from the heat. They wanted to make sure he was saying the right things, right? And who did they roll out? The bloody experts, apparent experts, who don't know diddly squat. Or they do know diddly squat, but they are giving you misinformation, slide by slide. Next slide, please. Their numbers don't stack up at all. Just look at them. Are they healthy? If you're such a health expert, why do you look like crap? Always ask yourself that. Simple questions. Oh boy. I'll take a little break on the bench in a minute. Yeah, so back to my videos. I did 2 on oil and gas, 1 on Litecoin. And you're like, why are you talking about other coins? Because the other coins have uses. Litecoin definitely has uses. Basically live off it. Everything I buy my beer with it. Buy my desks with it. Chairs, everything I buy. See with Litecoin and Ethereum. Not Bitcoin. Bitcoin's too slow. So I use Litecoin and Ethereum. Ethereum, 13-second blocks. Still takes a few minutes to transact in. From like exchange to exchange, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Same with Litecoin. That's because they have to make sure you really got what you got. That's okay. You can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for just wait a few minutes. Better than the old system, isn't it? Am I still alive? Yes, I am. Yes. Warm. It is warm, especially when you're walking up hills. So yeah, little view. Looks nicer. This light golden hour, I think they call it. Yeah. It's a little town I live in. So a few big buildings, not too many. There's no real skyline to speak of. Not like American cities where the downtown has all those tall buildings. I think most of our buildings are like 12 stories max. Yeah, nothing really to write home about. I think British people have a hard time with people coming in and building tall buildings, anything like that. It's like they want to keep things the same, which is like okay, it's fine. But if you live in a big city or a big town, don't you want it to grow? Don't you want fresh money, fresh blood in your town? Because the old blood eventually dies off, right? So yeah, always got to attract new capital, and capital goes where it's treated the best. I was talking to one person, and there's a supermarket, and the developer he wanted to knock it down, build it up again fresh and new, and local residents chased them away, and the investor was like, yeah, screw this, I'll go to another town, take my £100 million and spend it somewhere else. Because the rich people don't need hassle. They want to make money quick, and they want to put their ideas and plans in motion quick. If you start giving them hurdles to jump, they'll be like, it's not worth it. Not worth it, because they're losing money if you put roadblocks in front of them. I don't know why people don't understand like simple, business, yeah, British people, there seems to be a general lack of business acumen. I've noticed that big time. Yeah, they could really double and triple like their net worth, double and triple the town's net worth by just doing simple changes, but it's just not, the knowledge and desire doesn't seem to be there. Yeah, sad, but yeah, well. Yeah, what I was going to say, I was saying in the video earlier, like how much time, energy do I want to put in a place where, just the roadblocks seem so many, right? I mean, just look at Dubai, like 20 years ago, there's nothing there. Now you got like 2,000-foot towers, right? Right? Amazing. I wonder where that money came from. All those Middle Eastern countries, it's not just oil, it's credit lines, right? You don't sell your oil to build a building, it's credit lines, right? So who's giving them the credit? Yeah, interesting. Because they ain't giving credit to Iran, they're sanctioning them. Syria, bombing the shit out of them. Lebanon, same. So there's certain anointing countries that they like. UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, right? Just look at a complete difference. And what's that new city they're trying to build, that line, the NEOM? New Economic Order of Moderation. Yeah, NEOM. Yeah. So they will build all these cities out, and you will just pay rent to live there. Right, fully tracked, everything's electronic. That's the plan. That's probably what they're going to do in New York. They're washing out the old New Yorkers, bringing some millennials. You'll be always being brainwashed in this digital world, right? So yeah, they'll be going, yay, digital currency, woo, face recognition, woo. Health passports, woo! And the old New Yorkers probably like moved to Connecticut or Long Island, Hamptons, whatever. They don't need to go into the city anymore. Everything's on Zoom, right? All the training's online. You got computers in Jersey City. All the algo stuff working. You don't actually need to be on the floor of the stock exchange or whatever. So why be in New York? Do all that rubbish, Yeah, so general relocation of older smart money. Will they sell their assets in those big cities? I don't know. Probably not. But they probably won't live there themselves. They're probably living somewhere more free, right? Right. Hamptons seems pretty free, right? What am I doing on time? 24 minutes. Yeah, just off to get some beer. So the morning was a beer recycling drop, and now I'm filling up. Yeah, it's good life. Good life being a hex staker. No boss. Telling me what to do, when I can go home, when to finish up work. Get my way of doing my work. That's what bosses always did to me, man. Like, I'd have projects lined up and I'd be knocking them out of the park, and then the bosses were just putting little speed humps on me to go around. Ridiculous. It's ego. American bosses have such big ego, They don't want to run a smooth, efficient working team or ship, because that means they don't need to be needed. So they don't empower the people below them, right? They want to keep those people below them. So yeah, they make their lives miserable. Americans. Sorry, Americans, but yeah, Americans. Yeah, well, talking about Wales, and I saw Quant Gang is up again tonight. It's kind of late for me, even though it is late. It's like 1:30 a.m. I'm still trying to drop in sometimes, so I will drop in. Wales' talk on the economy, the banking was really good. It was good active discussion going on in the YouTube chat. Yeah, I didn't see all of it because I kind of know a lot of it, but for people who are not aware, I bet it's a huge wake-up call, right? Know how the system actually works, and like there's tons of people who've dissected it already. You know, I think Ray Dalio has like that 30-minute YouTube video, really well made. I've only seen like 10-15 minutes because that's all I need. But it's like really, you put some money up to do that. It's basically called How the Economic Machine Works, right? So yeah, that's pretty good. And I think that sparked a lot of people's ideas of how to explain the economy, so that's good. And you've got Francis Hunt. I think he's putting out like lots of content over the years. I think every one of his channels, he's got 3 channels. It's like 500-600 videos, right? So yeah, I've got some catching up to do. But I'll get there. I've only been at this for 2 weeks. Yeah, maybe I should offer a Kareem apology. I put a few little side remarks about, you know, telling him to like shut the fuck up, you know, occasionally. It's nothing personal, mate. It's nothing personal. It's just when Wells came out on the scene in January, February, he was bringing a new light onto Hex, right? And showing it in a new way that was so important. Yeah, it kind of pissed me off when people trying to take away from him explaining what's going on, right? Let him get his ideas out fully, and then you can dissect it, right? And then you can have your say, right? So, apologies, Kareem, nothing personal. I think I'd dig at Richard for ending one of Richard's. I mean, Wells only stream early because you wanted to interview who? Some idiot, Chris Black, right? So, Kareem, nothing personal, and even Richard, nothing personal. Just, you know, respect the other Hexkins. But I think we've got to the point now where there's so many channels, we're all kind of like overlapping each other, and that's fine. That is completely great to see. There shouldn't be one voice telling you about this thing. It should be hundreds of voices, right? That's why I'm doing what I do. Because why not throw my voice into the ring? And how am I doing time? It's 28 minutes. I'll give you, make it round it up to 30. Eh? Let's run down this hill together. Imagine if I fall down now, that'd be awesome. Alright guys, later.